Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. It is time for another tutorial, and today we're going to be looking at fireworks. So if I turn around real quick and we step on this pressure plate, you'll see that up on the wall behind us we have a nice firework go off. Now, the firework is all stages of the fireworks. So you get the trail that goes up, and then you actually get the firework itself. So if we do that again, see there's the trail going up, and then bang, there's the firework that happens up there. So as you can see, this thing looks relatively simple, but there is a lot of gates going on here. Thankfully, as you can see, these gates are pretty much a single pattern that we're going to repeat over and over and over again to get this system to work. So it's not all that complicated, it's just a matter of getting all of the gates down and hooking them up to the right things and getting the timings right, because that's mostly what this is actually about. It's about getting the timings absolutely perfect. So let's go ahead and start looking at what we do to make these. So we start this build by creating the tail, which is this section here. This is the bit that kind of emulates the firework rising up from the ground before it then explodes. Now, the key thing to note here is that there are two very distinct things that you need to do in this tail. So you need to have a section that is straight up, and then you have this section that kind of arcs towards where you actually want the firework to go off. Now, this is because when you actually watch real fireworks, they do exactly this. They fire up from the ground and they go pretty fast up as they go straight up, but then as they get to a certain height, they lose steam and they kind of curl in one direction and kind of go a little bit slowly before disappearing and then exploding. And so that's the aim that we're going for here. So we're going to take some white lamps and we're going to build a very similar system. I'm just going to do this exactly the same as we've done that one. So we're just going to go 4 up and then curl with 4 as well. But of course you can do 5 up or 6 up or whatever you really like. It doesn't matter all that much. All that really matters is that you have a straight section and a curl section. Now, the next point that we need to talk about here is we need to define some terms in actual fact. So to work out how many gates we need to build our system, we now need to define something. So that is, each light in the upwards run is going to be on for 1 count. And then the lights in the curve section are going to be 2 counts, 2 counts, 3 counts, and 4 counts. Now, the reason why I'm saying it this way is that each count needs 1 system of gates, and a system of gates contains 2 AND gates and 1 NOT gate. So that's what these are over here. These are my systems of gates. Now if we have a quick look at the lines, you can see that for the gates going up, I've connected just 1 of these, and then for the gates that are in the curve section, I've got 2 and 2 and 3 for that guy, and then 4 for that guy up there. So that's what makes it look like the rocket is slowing down. So if I take away this wand and have a look here, you can see that as we step across here, these go really fast and then those slow down, and then there's a gap and then there's the explosion. So this is how you work out how many gates you need. So in our case, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, and then we're going to need another 2, so that makes 6 sets total, 8 sets total, 11 sets total, 15 sets total, just to do this run up through here. Now, the next point, so that's what this all is here, that's 15 sets of gates up along here, and then we need 5 AND gates, just like this. And these are just going to be that delay between the rocket going up and the actual firework going off. So once again, if we watch this, you'll see, and that pressure plate didn't work for some reason. I think I missed it. Here we go. Watch this. We'll see there's that, and then there's a gap, a brief gap before that happens, and that's what those 5 out there are about. So let's go ahead and set this guy up. I just need to grab a few more AND gates and NOT gates. So here we go. I've got all the gates now that I need. So I need 30 AND gates and 15 NOT gates, and then I need the 5 extra AND gates for the extra bit that I was talking about earlier. So we're basically just going to go through and we're going to place 15 of these guys down in a long line. So I'm just going to actually start a little bit further back than I did last time. We're just going to place all of these guys down. This shouldn't take too long to do. But yeah, we'll just, like I said, go on through, put all of these guys down, just like that, I'm pretty sure. And then we can place down our 15 NOT gates. Now, the best way to do this is to have all of the AND gates facing into each other and then have the NOT gate facing away, just like I'm doing here. And then we're just going to run a line of these all the way down. And then once we've run this line, we're going to run a line of AND gates down next to these NOT gates, also facing the same way that these NOT gates are. Basically, this is just so that we know which things in the web are doing what. So these AND gates at the back are kind of running the signal down the line, and then these NOT gates and AND gates that go this way are running the signal from the line out through something and up to the actual design that we're doing. So if we go over here and then place down all of these AND gates as well, we should get a whole set of 15 done up pretty quickly and easily here. And then it's just a matter of hooking these together. Now, as you probably guessed, these have a pattern that they are hooked together in because they are basically all exactly the same. So here we go. So that is our lot of 15. So that's going to do up our little run that we've got here. And then I'm also just going to place down 5 AND gates out the back over here. These are just going to be kind of tangential a little bit, just like that. So now we're going to go through and hook these up. Now the easiest way to hook these up is to do this all in lines. So we're going to hook up the AND gates to each other. So basically one AND gate gets hooked to the A and to the B of the AND gate in front of it, just like this. And once again, AND gate goes into A, and AND gate goes into B. And this just happens all the way down the line. Basically, these AND gates are acting like very, very short delays that we're using to trigger everything else that happens in this circuit. So all we need to do is just go down the line, every AND gate into every other AND gate, all the way down. Then the second step is to connect the AND gates through into the NOT and the other AND gate. So this is pretty easy. Basically, the AND gate goes into the NOT, and the AND gate goes into the A side of this AND gate, and then the NOT gate goes into the B side, just like that. So once again, that goes AND gate, which is our delay AND gate. It goes into the NOT gate and the AND gate that faces outwards, and then we're going to have the NOT go into the B side of that same AND gate. Once again, we're going AND gate into NOT gate, AND gate into the A side. Whoops, I'm not sure I got that correct. Here we go. A side of the output AND gate, and then NOT gate into the B side. So we just need to hook all of these up all the way down until we get to this point, and then we'll move on from there. Once these are all connected together, it is time to connect them up to the actual lights that we've got up here. So basically, once again, this is just an issue of timing. So all of the ones that are straight up, you just want to hook one of these to one of those. So the first set in the line, you're going to take from the AND gate that's pointing this way, and you're going to hook it to the very first light on the line. And then we're going to go and do the same for the second and the third and the fourth in this case. But if you have built a larger system with more lights going up, then obviously you keep doing this. You just go one gate or one set of gates up to one light at a time until you get to the top here. At the bend, things change. But until you get to the top, while you're just doing the straight line sections, it's just a 1 for 1. One gate to one light, and you do them in order. So as you can see, first set of gates is hooked to the first light, second set of gates, second light, third, and so on. Then when you get to the turn, things change. So once you get to the turn, you want to do 2 sets of gates hooked to this guy, 2 sets of gates hooked to this one, then 3, and then 4. And then that should be all 15 of these gate sets that I've done. So this is pretty simple. Once again, you just take from the gate furthest back that doesn't have anything hooked to it, and you hook it to this guy, and that's the first one of those. Then we want to do a second one of those. So here we go. We're going to grab this one again, and we're going to hook that to this guy. So basically what this means is that he stays on for a little bit longer than these guys. In fact, double the amount of time, which is good because we want to kind of simulate the look of this thing slowing down as it's falling through the sky. So there we go. Then once again, the second guy also gets 2, just like this. So that's 2 and 2 there. As you can see, they've both got 2 attached to them, and those are from different outputs here. And we're going to do 3 for the next one. So we're just going to take, once again, from the furthest back that doesn't have anything attached to it, and just go up, and we're going to do 3 attached to this guy. You can change these timings a little bit if you like. You can do it so you've got a 2 and then a 3 and then a 3 and then a 4. That's fine. It just looks a little different, but that is perfectly fine. It is a little bit of a personal preference thing on the timings, but realistically all you need to know is getting these timings right is all about how many of these outputs you hook to any given light. So I would most definitely recommend, and I stuffed that one up, hang on. Yeah, so this does happen from time to time, every now and again. Oh no, I didn't. That one was fine. There we go. Yes, okay. So you do just need to be a little bit careful as you're going through and doing this. You are actually clicking everything in exactly the right spot. But there you go. So now we have all of those set up. So all of those are fast, and then they slow down as they go up towards here. So the next thing we actually need to hook up before we talk about the actual fireworks section is this little delay here. So this little delay is quite easy. We take from the delay line of AND gates and we run it into the A and the B of the first of these 5, just like this. Then we want to run these guys together the same way we've done all of the other ones. So each AND gate goes into the A and the B of the AND gate before it. And I've put a little turn in here, but that's basically just to save space and things. And it means that this guy is going into the A and B of this guy, just like this. Not really a problem there. So there you go. And like I said, you just want to do 5 of these because, once again, it's just a slight delay and it's just slightly longer than our little 4 up here. So that's what that is all about. So next we need to talk about the actual explosion section of this. So what you're going to want for the explosion the size that I've done, you're going to want 9 of one color and 8 of the other color. So these can be whatever colors you like as long as you have enough ichor to do it. Personally, I like the yellow and the red, but also yellow and blue is good. And yeah, I would kind of avoid using the white because we've used the white as the smoke trail type thing. So any of the other colors is fine. So I'm going to go and grab a couple of lights and we'll talk about how we hook these up. So as I mentioned, you're going to need 9 of one color light and 8 of the other color light. Now, the one that is the 9 is going to be your center point. So you're going to place that down in the center. Now, your center needs to kind of be a little bit off where this line has come in so that you can actually place down the rest of the lights that you need to place down. So first of all, with the 9, you're going to make a little X shape, just like I'm making here. And then once you've made your little X shape, you want to swap over to your other color, and you kind of want to fill this in with a little cross piece. And that was not right. We don't want that there. We want that one there. So here we go. We're just making a little cross. Now this is going to be somewhat purple, but not really purple, because it's going to be red and blue. So there you go. Now that is the actual firework piece. Now you can extend this if you really want to. You could make this a larger firework. All you'd need to do is add another light at the end of each of this row and at the end of these rows, diagonally and horizontally and vertically. The only thing about that means that you would then need to change the next part that I'm about to tell you about, which is how many gates you need for this final section. Now, basically for this final section, you need your kind of radius, I guess, so how many lights there are from the center out to one end. So in my case, it's 3. You need that number plus 2 to get this whole thing to work. And that means that, what I mean by that is you need this system that many times. So in my case, it's 5. So that means I need 5 more of this system, which is what I've got in my rucksack. I've got 10 AND gates and 5 NOT gates. So we're going to place that down really quick, and we're going to place that down just going forwards here and hook that up exactly the same as this. What we're going to do is we're going to run these AND gates into it, and then we're just going to hook it up exactly the same as we've done these. So like I said, we'll just quickly do this. We'll go through, place 5 of these guys down in a row, 5 just like that, and then we're going to place 5 of them like this, and then put the NOT gates in the middle, and then we're going to hook it all up as we've done before. Just like I said, with the difference being that the actual start of this is hooked up to our little delay gates over here. So we'll just quickly do that. We'll take the output of these 5 gates and plug that into the A here, and plug that into the B down there, and then we're just going to run down this line going A, B, as we've done before, so everything goes into A and B with the gate in front of it. That was not the line I wanted to put down, so just going to quickly pick that up, break that line, and place down the correct line this time, so there into B. And as before, this guy also goes into the NOT gate, and the A side of the output AND gate, and the NOT gate goes into the B side of that. So I'm just going to hook all these up, and then we'll talk about the next bit. So the second to last bit of this web is hooking up all of these gates to all of those lights. Now, basically what we're going to do here is each light is going to be on for 2 counts, but those things are going to overlap. So the first count is only going to be our center light here. Then the second count is going to be the center light, and these kind of cross pieces here, the one out in the diagonals. So that's the second light. So that's all of those in that big cross there. Then in the third light, we want these ones in the diagonal to still be on, but we're also going to turn on the outer edge diagonals, and also the first lot of the different color, which is these 4 here. And then on the fourth one, we're going to keep the very, very outer edge diagonals on. We're going to keep the internal guys on, and we're also going to do the outer of the horizontal and vertical. Now, as you can see from my hotbar, I've got all of my different color wands set up so that I'm going to do this very slowly, one at a time, and I'm going to color code each step so we can flick through the color code and you can see what I'm talking about. But here we go. So the very first step is going to be to take the first run here and hook that up to the center, just like that. That's all that one is. That's just the first one is straight into the center, because that's what we want on first. Now, the second one is going to be the center, and it's going to be the 4 diagonals that are closest to the center. That's these 4 here. Now this, like I said, this is going to get a little bit tricky, so it may be best to either do what I'm doing and color code each of the steps, or you can do this in a pattern of some description. I am currently going right to left, top to bottom, but I normally do this left to right, top to bottom, so I don't know why I've decided to do the change. But there you go. So this is the second step. The second step is the middle, and then the 4 on the cross on the diagonals that are closest to the middle. Then going into the third step, this is where the middle one turns off, because the middle one has now been on for 2 counts. So the middle one is off, which means we don't touch it this time. But what we're going to do this time is we're going to hook up the outer edges. So I'm going to do all 4 outer edges. And we're also doing basically all of these in through the middle here. So other than the center one, all of those, they're kind of 8 in a ring around the middle there. So like I said, this is going to have a lot of lines hooked up to it, so you need to make sure that you get these all pretty much right. I mean, the thing is that this is going to go over so fast and so quickly that if you miss one light here or there, or hook one light up in the wrong spot here or there, it's not really going to make too much difference. It's still going to look very much like a firework. So it's probably not all that bad, but you just need to try your best to keep things in order and in line. But here we go. So just finishing off this ring of 8, and then we need to do the bottom 2 diagonals, because I have not done those yet. And then that will pretty much be it for the third step. The third step, I think, has the most connected to it, or maybe the fourth step has the most connected to it. Anyway, we're about to find out. So here we go. This is the third step. It has a lot of stuff connected to it, but mostly it's these very 4 outside on the diagonal, and then it's those 8 in through the middle ring there. So now that we've done all of that, these little guys here, the blue ones on the diagonal in the middle, they've now been on for 2, so in the next one they're going to turn off. But we're also going to get these outside edges turned on this time. So we're going to take the 4th, and that is going to run to all of the outside edges, and it's going to run to all of the reds. So that's basically what this one is. It's everything around the outside and all of the reds. And then once we've done that, the reds in the middle and the blues on the outside edges are done. They're finished for this because they've now been on for 2 counts, which is perfect. That's what we want them to do. So the final one, once we've done that, is just going to be the last couple of reds that haven't been on for 2. So here we go. I'm just going to quickly sort this out. So like I said, outside edges and all of the reds, which makes this one is actually a pretty simple one to go through and do. And of course, if you're substituting different colors, instead of all of the reds, it's all of the whatever you have on the horizontal and vertical axes here. So here we go. 1 to there, and 1 up to there. Done. Okay, so that's the second to last step for hooking all these things up. And if we go over here, first of all, you can see what this looks like if you just do it non-color coded. It does get a little bit confusing, it does get a little bit messy, but what you need to know is that all of these things are hooked up to 2 lines at the same time. So that's really all you're after. So anyway, we're going to go for the final step, and like I said, the final step is just the 4 outermost on the horizontal and vertical axis. So just 1, 2, 3 up here, and then we'll get the 4th one, just like that. So there we go, that is now actually all of the wiring done for the actual timing system. All we need to do now is trigger the thing. So I'm just going to wait for daytime and grab some extra lines, and then we'll set this up to actually run. So the final step here is to do the input. Now the input is really simple. We just place down a pressure plate or whatever other input device we like, and then we run our line from the pressure plate or input, whatever we've got as our input, into the A side of the first AND gate and into the B side of the first AND gate. And this is literally it. So if we just do that, go into the A side and into the B side. Perfect, done. So now we can go over here and step on this pressure plate and we'll see our little fireworks system go off. Bam, there it is, very nice. So there you go, that is it. This is how you do the fireworks system. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next video.